up, y'all? This is I Am MJTV, and I'm back with another video. Y'all already know tonight was the season 12 premiere of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The girls are back, and they are back. Miss Kenya Moore returned. The girls are back, y'all. But before we get into this video, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you have your notification bell posted so whenever I do post content, you get notified. But let's go and get into this video, y'all. Now tonight, y'all, Bravo jumped right into cheating allegations, divorce, relationship problems. They hopped right into it. So we kicked it off with, of course, them reintroducing Kenya back in. She's had her baby girl, Brooklyn, who at this point in time is 7 months old. And Kenya's in Atlanta and Mark is still in New York. So we get introduced to Brooklyn as we see her. She's absolutely gorgeous. She looks like a little baby doll. And I will say it was refreshing seeing Kenya back on screen because, you know, we really didn't get to see much of her pregnancy. And that was kind of like a part that Bravo kind of dropped the ball on. And like we missed out on that. So it was good to see her back. And of course with her baby and everything. But the crazy part is that her and Mark definitely seem to be having some kind of, you know, marriage issues. As everybody has already seen, they have, you know, separated. I don't think they filed for divorce as of yet, but they definitely are separated. Now, they've only been married, what, 2 years now, I think? Which, y'all, let's just be honest, we all kind of, you know, we were happy for Kenya because she finally got her baby and married and things like that. But it was one of those situations that you had to kind of like, you had to kind of side-eye because it kind of happened quick. Like, he kind of popped up out of nowhere, and then she's pregnant, and it just kind of moved really fast. So, you see, she's in Atlanta, of course, filming, because her businesses are here. She's on the Housewives of Atlanta, and his restaurants are in New York. So, they have a long-distance marriage, which I guess for some people, it could work. But, I mean, I think any relationship is going to be hard, long-distance. Like, you really have to probably be spent more time together, that you guys will have a bond that could kind of make it through a long distance relationship. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, Bravo hopped right into it. They didn't waste any time with, you know, updating us on the Kenya and Mark situation. Also, Portia and Dennis situation. Now, y'all know a couple of months back, shouts out to Tasha K because she kind of broke that story. The Dennis cheating allegations kind of rolled in, and it was right after Portia had the baby, right after their special that Bravo gave them. The cheating allegations kind of, you know, popped up with Dennis being cheating with some woman named Sincerely Ward and some exes. So they kind of, Bravo hopped right into it. They had clips of Tasha K's YouTube channel, clips and things like that. So they definitely, like, they didn't hold any bars like tonight. Like they kind of went all in, which I was kind of like, oh, like we gonna jump right into all of that. But you can definitely tell this season will be good. Now we get into Kandi. Her storyline, you can tell this season is probably gonna be about, of course, her having a surrogate. Now, the lady is pregnant. At this point of filming, she was about maybe 14 weeks pregnant. So this, of course, was in the spring. Now, she's probably further along now, of course. She's pregnant with a baby girl from what, you know, we saw tonight. Now, they were pregnant with twins at one point, but one of the embryos did not make it. So they are left with, of course, one embryo at this point. Now, it does seem like Kandi is a bit struggling with the fact that she isn't carrying the baby. And, of course, Ace is trying to understand that he has a little sister coming, but of course, Kandi isn't pregnant, so they're trying to figure out, you know, how to best explain that to him. You know, they seem to have a really good relationship with the surrogate. Todd asks, you know, could they take Ace to one of the next appointments so they could, you know, he can kind of get familiar, kind of see exactly what's going on because he does have a sister. But like I said, it seems like Kandi is struggling with, of course, how to deal with the situation of having a surrogate because, of course, her two other kids she had naturally and now somebody else carrying the baby. So that is understandable. It's kind of weird situation with explaining it and the emotions behind it, you know, just really trying to see how that works out. But that was what we saw from Kandi tonight. So Eva and Mike, of course, they got married. Eva is pregnant with baby number 3. She's a couple of months into the pregnancy, and they seem to be searching for a house. Now, y'all, it seems like every season Eva has been searching for a house. I'm trying to understand, like, maybe what's the hard part about them finding a home and, just settling into it, especially with you just got married and now you're pregnant with another baby. Like, wouldn't y'all have wanted to find a house kind of before the baby got here and things like that? But hey, I don't know anybody's situation, but Eva definitely is always searching for, a new home. You all heard the allegations last season from Marlo and the bridesmaids about her financial situation and, them having bad credit and, all kind of allegations, which we don't know if that stuff is true. We don't know any of it, but like I say, they're looking for a house at this point. Now they're having lunch and they're talking about the Portia and Dennis situation, which everybody is, because one, it was all in the blogs, all in the news that, they had separated because, of course, Portia unfollowed Dennis and all that stuff. So everybody kind of saw it. So rightfully, they're having a conversation about it. And Eva works at the radio station, with Portia. And I think she had been covering Dish Nation while Portia was on maternity leave. But Portia hasn't returned yet. So Eva is still, of course, covering for her, as she should. But that was pretty much the gist of the Eva and Mike situation. That's pretty much what we got from them tonight. Now, Cynthia, y'all, let's just pray for Cynthia. I understand you with somebody and you really want to get married, but you don't have to, let the man ask you to marry him and, let that process play out. Y'all, she calling herself the thirsty bride, and she living up to that right now. She living up to thirsty bride because she just pressuring, okay, when we get married, and she don't want to pick out dresses and posting it on Instagram. It's calm down. She doing too much. I understand you happy about your man. Just enjoy it and stop. Don't pressure so much. She go to meet Kenya and she talking about, the wedding, and Kenya girl, you thirsty right now, which is kind of crazy because Kenya calling somebody thirsty because just a few seasons back, y'all, we know she was the same way, ready to have a baby and ready to have a marriage. But, the tables turn at a certain point. Now, Kenya's so shady because she asked Cynthia about business in her wine set, y'all, what's this? The Bailey Wine Bar, wine cellar. Let me sip my wine. But she asked her, how business going, and of course at the moment it's crickets because nobody in there. I don't know. I just know the girls in Atlanta say every time they pass by, it's never anybody in there. I don't know the lady. It could be busy. She could be hosting private parties and all that. But we don't know. Now, of course, they having lunch. Baby Brooklyn is there. Like I said, she's so adorable. That's the one thing she did do right. If this marriage didn't work out between her and Mark, at least she got her beautiful baby girl out of that situation. But that's neither here nor there. So, of course, Nene will not be in the first 3 episodes, I think, of this season. Now, I don't know if it was contract negotiations. Some blogs were saying she was suspended because of the shirt pulling and all that. But we won't see her for the first 3 episodes. Now, that didn't mean that the girls won't say anything about her. Her name came up tonight. Kenya pulled her receipts up about, we ended off last season, with the partying and Cynthia acting like she didn't know that Kenya was going to be there, which, of course, we know she did. And Kenya pulled her receipts of, Nene invited somebody to her wedding. It was Walter at the time, which, it can be hypocritical. What you say, I can't control who, at my wedding and things like that. But, of course, they was going to throw that in there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I thought Walter and Greg was friends also at that time, so I don't know. Either way, he was at the wedding. They both feel a way about each other. And I'm kind of shocked because even in recent interviews, Kenya has kind of been digging and going at her, but she hasn't said nothing. Which I'm like, maybe Nene, maybe she growing or something. I don't know. Maybe she's waiting to address it on the show. But we have heard about interviews, people doing interviews and saying that, things happen about an altercation between her and Kenya and somebody being spit at or something. But we definitely will see that. Now we get back to Portia. Of course, you know, with everything that's going on, I think Pilar may be about 2 months old at this time, so she's still kind of in the house on maternity leave. Her mom is kind of helping her out with the baby, and she hasn't really gave them all the details about what's going on with her and Dennis. But I'm kind of like, when they have seen it on social media and everybody unfollowing him and all that, so that was kind of like, they would kind of know what's going on, but I don't know. So, you know, you could kind of tell she having a really hard time dealing with the situation of him cheating. And I guess he cheated while Portia was pregnant, which wasn't really that long after they had met. I think the biggest issue between them two, I don't think they truly knew each other. She didn't really do the research to find out about his past and things like that, which I don't know if you necessarily have to go do the research to find out about the person you're in a relationship with, the exes and things like that. But I feel like when you're with somebody and you guys have a little bit more history and you've been together longer, those things kind of come up and you can kind of know things ahead of time. I feel like all these allegations of bestiality, which Bravo is so shady, the way they edited that in there, the show Cynthia and them talking about him, the bestiality and all of that, and they show Portia in a little animal onesie and him pulling on her tail. Shady. Those producers shady. But like I said, Portia's she dealing with that situation, and it's hurtful because, you know, you trust that this person telling you the truth, but when my sis good sis how she can't pull her receipts out, it's kind of hard to deny, which we'll get to that once we talk about Pilar's party, that situation. But yeah, Dennis sending, you know, flowers every day and spending all this money. Like, you sending all those flowers, that's not going to get that lady back. Like, what does that do? Like, you wasting your time. Anybody out there, don't waste your time buying somebody thousands of dollars of flowers when you done messed up. Like, that's a waste. That's a waste. So, Candy, Cynthia, and Eva meet up, kind of have lunch, and they're at the old lady gang having some drinks, and Eva's ordering everything on the menu because at this point, I'm thinking she's probably about 6 months pregnant. So her appetite is crazy at this point. And of course, they start talking about the Portia and Dennis thing because this is hot topic right now. Everybody's talking about it, and they want to know exactly what's going on. Now, just so happened, Sincerely Ward, which is, of course, the lady that Tasha K said that Dennis was cheating with and, you know, having a relationship with, pops up. She's at the bar. She sends a drink over to the table. Now, then she comes over, and everybody's like, okay, hey, who is it? Now, Candy clearly knew who the girl was, and when she says her name, it ding dong, it clicks in Eva's head. Oh, this the girl. So of course she say, hey, I'm the girl from the, you know, the blogs are saying that is messing with Dennis. I've never met Dennis. I don't know Dennis. Like, she said she, you know, don't have a clue who Dennis is. However, of course, the receipt's been pulled that they in fact do know each other and that they do have somewhat of a past. But of course she gonna deny that. Now, it's so funny that she just so happens to be at the old lady gang while they're filming. Now, producers, come on now. Come on. Come on. That's just the day y'all told her, okay, so Candy Evie gonna be there, you gonna pop up and give a drink. And y'all gotta come better than that now. Us fans, we not that crazy to think that day she was just at the old lady gang coincidentally. Now, you know, they asked Candy, like, do you believe her? Like, Candy done already spilled stuff last season about Dennis and things like that, about him buying girls and tattoos and all of this stuff. So she know Dennis got somewhat of a past. So it's not hard for her to believe that he would have cheated on Portia and be doing all this type of stuff because, of course, she know she got friends that have been with him and things like that. So it's not really that shocking for her. Now, the other ones are kind of like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You know, they're really not buying it. Now, Kenya has a Barbie-themed coming out party for Brooklyn because, of course, at this point, everybody hasn't met her, hasn't, they haven't really seen her. So this is her way to introduce Brooklyn to Atlanta, I guess. Of course, in the South, we call that a sippancy. Shouts out to Phaedra for, coining that, a sippancy, where you introduce the baby to the world and to the family, and they come, they look at the baby, all of those kind of pomp and circumstances. So she has a party for Brooklyn. This was probably one of the first events that they filmed all together. Of course, excluding Nene because she wasn't filming at that time, but that was the first time that all the ladies kind of filmed together. Portia shows up, Candy, everybody's there. And it was one of the first times that Portia had been out, of course, since all of the rumors started and things like that. Now, of course, Mark was not in attendance. He, had to work in New York, but come on, there's smoke and mirrors at this point. Let's just be real. If your wife having a party to introduce your child to the world, you couldn't, maybe take off for the day for that? Just maybe for a couple hours to fly to Atlanta, because of course the flight from Atlanta to New York, that's no time. He could have flew here real quick for the party, spent time with them, boom, go back to New York. But we'll buy it for now, Kenya. Now, of course, they haven't really talked to Portia about the situation between her and Dennis or anything like that, and what Sincerely had said at the restaurant. They haven't, mentioned it because they want to leave the attention on Brooklyn and everything like that. Now, also, they have this little moment where Eva, they asked her why she didn't bring the kids, and she kind of says, well, me and Kenya haven't really had the best relationship, so I didn't really know. She didn't really know how it would go, and she didn't want to have her kids if anything popped off. But I don't think they would have got into it or anything like that. I'm just kind of like, hey, maybe that day she didn't have her kids, and she just didn't want to bring them. Now, it seems like they try to make a big deal about that because Portia and Kenya have a little, they have a little moment where they're bonding because everybody knows they didn't have the best friendship or the best start or anything like that. So they have a moment where, they're now both moms and they're bonding over the babies and things like that. And Portia kind of tells Kenya, how that situation played out with Eva. And, Kenya, well, she don't have to come to anything else. And, Miss Kenya Moore is, well, you don't have to come to any of my events. What you think I'm going to do? Take my ponytail off and whoop your kids or something like that? So I'm like, okay, let's not blow that situation up. Maybe she just didn't want to bring her kids that day. Now, with Portia telling Kenya that, Kenya kind of like, well, she gave me a little bit of tea, so let me sprinkle some on her. Because, of course, Kenya had walked up on the girls talking about the situation on the OLG, so she already knew about it. Now, y'all know Kenya was not going to waste any time telling Portia about that situation. Now, what shocked me was the fact that Portia wasn't fazed at all. It was like she already kind of knew, and she had already made up in her mind that I'm not even worried about it. It's like she wasn't even moved by the Sincerely Ward situation because what she tells them, well, not them, but in her interview, that it wasn't even that situation that, really affected her and Dennis' relationship. It was another situation. So evidently, Dennis not only had that allegation of him talking to Sincerely, but he had, stepped out on Portia with somebody else. Now, I don't know if she saw messages in his phone. She did allude early in the episode that she had seen some things that were inappropriate and that, she didn't necessarily agree with. So I wonder what that was about. But she was definitely not shocked about that Sincerely Ward situation. I was sitting there like, okay, Portia. I mean, but I feel like you always know. Like, you may be the last one to find out, but you the first one to get all those details. And in that moment, I said, okay, I see what this is. Y'all, I wouldn't even be surprised if her and Dennis were still together at that point, and it was just kind of like, saving face and playing it out like that for a storyline. I don't know, because at one point she was crying when she was talking to her parents, and I was kind of like, is she crying for real? Are those real tears? But we'll see. Like I say, they started this first episode out with a bang. They jumped right into cheating allegations and divorce allegations. Like for Housewives, hey, that's some big news. And like I said, this season, Nene we won't see her until I think maybe about the 3rd or 4th episode. But I definitely think this will be a great season. I'm happy Kenya is back. And, I think it'll be a good season. I think it's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And I think some things will be revealed this season that'll make us kind of understand last season a little better. Because I think some people will reveal themselves, per se, as to, their real character. But, that was what I took from this episode. Like I said, it was started out great. I'm going to try to review the whole season. I'm going to really try to review the whole season and stick with it. But thank you for everybody who's already subscribed to my channel. Like I said, if you like the content that I post, make sure you go down, you hit that subscribe button, and look out for my next review. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.